Alright, today I'm going to review and compare the new DJI Pocket 3 filters from SmallRig, which they kindly sent to me for free to create this video. These filters come in 3 sets. The first set is the ND filter set. It costs $40 and includes an ND8, ND64 and ND256. The second set is the VND filter set, priced at $50 and includes a VND 2 to 5 stops, an ND16/PL and a low pass filter. And finally, the last set is the Diffusion filter set, also priced at $50 and includes a black Pro Mist half strength, a Pro Mist half strength and a CPL filter. On the other hand, this mega pack collection from Freewell, which includes 14 different filters, is priced at $150. So you're definitely getting more filters for your money with the Freewell package if you opt for the mega pack collection. But let's see which one performs better in terms of design, features, and most importantly, optics. Starting with the build quality, both filters are made of metal and feel very premium. Both have strong magnets to easily attach them to the Pocket 3. Both have cutouts on the sides for easy removal from the camera, but I find the cutouts on the SmallRig filters to be a bit more pronounced, making it a bit easier to grip when the filter is on the camera. Both filters offer the option to stack 2 filters at the same time, but Freewell is more limited because you can only stack 2 rectangular filters. You can't stack a circular and a rectangular filter at the same time, whereas with SmallRig you can stack any filters you want, making it much more versatile and creative. For example, I mostly used the SmallRig VND 2 to 5 stops with the Pro Mist half strength, which gave a very unique look to my shots. Moving on, both come with nice carrying cases, but I prefer the case from Freewell because it's more durable and has a magnetic opening. Both have labels on each filter, but I prefer SmallRig's design because the labels are on the top, making it much easier to see, whereas Freewell's labels are on the side, making them much harder to see, especially when they are inside the carrying case. Finally, one major advantage of the SmallRig filters is that they are slightly thinner, allowing you to keep the filter attached to the camera when it's folded inside the carrying case. In my opinion, being able to fold the camera with a filter on is a major advantage of the SmallRig filters or the KNF concept filters I reviewed a couple of months ago, because it makes shooting with the Pocket 3 a much better experience. But regardless, let's see which one performs better in terms of optics, because I feel like it's a bit more important. Starting with the ND filter set, the SmallRig ND8 produces fantastic results and looks very color accurate. I can't see a significant difference compared to not using a filter, and compared to the Freewell ND8, the Freewell filter actually looks a bit worse as it produces a stronger magenta tint, though it's not that significant. Now, as for the SmallRig ND64, this one definitely has a stronger color shift towards magenta. Here is how it looks compared to the Freewell ND64, which I actually prefer because of its warm yellow tint, which looks more pleasing, especially with skin tones. And as for the SmallRig ND256, this one definitely produces a very noticeable magenta tint, and compared to the Freewell filter, it looks a bit worse because the Freewell filter is again slightly warmer, which again I find more pleasing, especially with skin tones. Overall, both deliver great results with the normal ND filters, but I slightly prefer the Freewell ones because they produce a warmer tint, which I again find more pleasing with stuff like skin tones. But I feel like if you have the time in post-production, you can easily adjust, color correct the color tint from both filters. It's just that out of camera, the Freewell ones produce a bit better results in my opinion. Moving on to the SmallRig VND filter set, the 2 to 5 stop VND filter at 2 stops produces a noticeable yellow warm tint, which is to be expected from a VND filter, but I cannot see a significant amount of vignetting or loss of sharpness. At 3 stops, the yellow warm tint is slightly stronger, but again, I can't see a significant amount of vignetting or loss of sharpness. And at 5 stops, surprisingly, the yellow worm tint is not as noticeable as with 2 or 3 stops, and the vignetting and loss of sharpness is still very minimal. Moving on to the SmallRig and D16/PL filter, I find it produces fantastic results with minimal color shift towards magenta and no visible loss of sharpness and vignetting. And compared to the Freewell and D16PL filter, I find it produces better results as the Freewell filter has a stronger color shift. Finally, as for the low pass filter, which is a filter I've actually never used before, it's designed to reduce issues like moire. From the tests I've done, it actually works pretty well. If you look closely at my backpack here, the clip without the filter shows slightly more artifacts and moire on the backpack, whereas the clip with the LPF filter looks a bit cleaner. However, as you can also see, the LPF filter introduces a magenta tint to the image, but it's pretty easy to correct in post-production. Overall, I find these filters to produce great results. The VNT 225 stops looks significantly better than the one I reviewed a couple of months ago from KNF Concept, which was pretty bad in terms of like vignetting and color tint. So this one looks pretty color accurate to me and no significant amount of vignetting is introduced. Then the ND16PL also looks fantastic. It's pretty color accurate with barely any vignetting or loss of sharpness. And it seems like the LPF filter is working just fine if you want to reduce moire and similar artifacts in your footage. Alright, finally, as for the SmallRig Diffusion filter set, the Black Promised half strength looks great if you want to achieve a very dreamy effect in your shots. This filter basically reduces contrast and significantly blooms the highlights. Freewell offers a similar filter in the Mega Pack collection called Snow Mist Water Strength, and when comparing both of these side by side, I actually prefer the results from the Freewell filter because it's not as intense when it comes to blooming the highlights and reducing the contrast. Now, as for the SmallRig Pro Mist half strength, this one mainly reduces contrast to make the image slightly softer, but like the Black Pro Mist filter, it also blooms the highlights, just not as intensely. And when compared to the Freewell Snow Mist filter, I actually prefer the results from SmallRig's Pro Mist filter because it's slightly less intense, delivering a pleasing image without looking too fake. And finally, as for the SmallRig CPL filter, this one is designed to reduce reflections from things like water, glass, or windows. I find it delivers great results with minimal warm color shift, barely any vignetting, and fantastic performance when compared to the Freewell CPL filter, which according to my tests looks exactly the same. I can't really notice a significant difference between the SmallRig CPL filter and the Freewell CPL filter. Overall, both filters deliver great results, but personally, I prefer the SmallRig filters because they are easily stackable, they fold with the camera, and I really love the Pro Mist filter. I think I'm going to leave it permanently attached to my Pocket 3 because it softens the image just enough without looking too fake like with the Black Pro Mist filter or the Snow Mist filter from Freewell. But please let me know down below which filter system you prefer, the one from Freewell or SmallRig. And I guess this is it for today. Thanks for watching, and also I will leave links for everything I've mentioned in this video down below as well.